And my next topic to explain to you is Born's interpretation of the wave function and its physical significance. In this, we can say that in case of electromagnetic waves, the electric and magnetic fields vary periodically, means it will change periodically, whereas in sound waves we can say pressure varies periodically. Similarly, we can say in water waves height varies periodically. But one can ask that what varies in a matter waves. In matter waves, a quantity called wave function denoted by psi is varies periodically. Schrödinger described the amplitude of matter waves in terms of wave function psi. The wave function of x comma y comma z is called the complex quantity, where psi is the wave function and its complex conjugate means psi star. Psi star is the complex conjugate of wave function. We can write that P of r is equals to integral psi into psi star d tau, where what is the d tau, where d tau is the elemental volume, d tau is equals to dx dy dz, and it should be finite. Psi is the amplitude of matter waves at any point in the space. Then the particle density at that point will be proportional to psi square, where thus the quantity psi square is the measure of charge density. Since psi is a complex quantity, therefore we can write in place of psi square we can write that psi star into psi. The psi star is the complex conjugate of psi. By this only, by depending upon the points which I had said only, we have derived these two formulas, like P of r comma t is equals P of r comma t d tau is equals to integral mod of psi of r comma t square d tau, and the other formula is triple integral mod psi square dx dy dz is equals to 1. And when I came to our next topic, Schrödinger time independent wave equation, means we are deriving the Schrödinger time independent wave equation. In the name only it is clear that it is independent of time. It means we should keep remember that the final formula what we have obtained will not have the t. It is independent of the t. So now I would like to start the derivation, how we should do it. The differential equation of the wave motion we can write as dou square psi by dou t square is equals to v square into dou square psi by rho x square plus rho square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square. We can write like that, and by this we can conclude that where del square is equal to dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square. This is the we can equal dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square is equals to del square, where del square being the Laplacian operator and v is the velocity of the light. In place of that we are writing the del square, so our formula will happen as v square del square psi, and when by Born's interpretation formula, as I said that psi is the wave function and psi star is the complex conjugate of the complex conjugate. By that I can write psi of x comma y comma z comma t is equals to psi naught of x comma y comma z comma t e power I omega t. And in terms of r comma t we can write it as psi of r bar comma t is equals to psi naught of r bar e power I omega t. When we differentiate the above formula twice. It means we are differentiating it twice. We will get as minus omega when we differentiate it twice. By differentiating first time we will get the value as xi naught r e power I omega t into I omega. When I differentiate second time, xi naught r minus I omega into minus I omega e power I omega t. By that I can conclude the last formula as dou square xi by dou t square is equals to minus omega square xi. Now I am substituting this dou square xi by dou t square in the above equation. It means in the first equation, dou square xi by dou t square is equals to v square into dou square xi by dou x square plus dou square xi by dou y square plus dou square xi by dou x square. So we will get as v square del square xi is equals to minus omega square xi. So I am taking the right hand equal to the left hand. So I will get taking to the left hand, and at a time I am taking common of v square. So the final result I will get is del square xi plus omega square by v square xi is equals to 0. We have a formula that omega is equals to 2 pi mu, that is equals to 2 pi v by lambda, and omega by v is equals to 2 pi by lambda. In place of omega square by v square I can substitute 2 pi by lambda. So the final one we will get is del square xi plus 4 pi square by xi square. Final quantity we get is del square xi plus 4 pi square by lambda square into xi is equals to 0. Now from the de Broglie relation we have the formula lambda is equals to h by mv. Now I am substituting this formula in the lambda square. We will get del square xi plus 4 pi square by h square m square v square xi is equal to 0. And by up to this we concluded, and our next step is we know that the E and V are the total potential energies, and that is equal to kinetic energy. We know that total energy is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. By that we can conclude that kinetic energy is equal to total energy minus potential energy. So half mv square is equals to E minus V, and I am multiplying both sides with m and taking this 2 to the other side. I will get the quantity as m square v square is equals to 2m into E minus V. I am substituting this m square v square in the above equation del square xi plus 4 pi square by h square m square v square xi. So we will get as del square xi plus 8 pi square m by h square E minus V into xi, and this is known as our final Schrodinger time independent equation. Guys, once see in this above formula there is no t value. It means it is independent of t, so it will not contain the t value. But Schrodinger given a new value to h. H means Planck constant. H is the old one and the Schrodinger modified it h bar. Now I am doing it h bar is equals to h by 2 pi. So I am substituting this h bar in place of h square. So I will get the formula as del square xi plus 2m by h bar square E minus V into xi is equals to 0. So when I substitute in the formula V is equal to 0 for the Schrodinger wave equation for a free particle can be expressed as del square xi plus 2m E by h bar square xi is equal to 0. This is the Schrodinger time independent equation. And our next topic is to calculate Schrödinger time dependent wave equation. And by in Schrödinger time dependent wave equation also, I am taking the same formula which I used in Schrödinger time independent wave equation. Dou square xi by dou t square is equals to v square del square xi. And in the previous way, I am taking xi is equals to xi of x comma y comma z comma t as xi naught of x comma y comma z e power I omega t. And in a simple way, I am writing xi is equal to xi naught e power minus I omega t. Now, in the previous case, I have differentiated twice. Now I am differentiating only one time with respect to x on both sides. So I will get the quantity dou xi by dou t is equal to xi naught minus I omega e power minus I omega t. So in omega I am writing 2 pi mu. I will get the formula as omega naught minus I into 2 pi mu into e power I omega t. So in place of xi naught e power minus I omega t, I can write xi. So I am substituting that. I will get the formula minus 2 pi I omega xi, and in place of we know the formula E is equal to h mu hv, and v in place of v I am writing E by h. So I am substituting that. We get the formula minus 2 pi I E by h xi minus I by h bar xi. How we obtain here h bar means h bar is equals to h by 2 pi. In place of h by 2 pi I am writing h bar, and the final formula we will get is E into xi is equals to I h bar into dou xi by dou t. Substituting E xi value in Schrödinger time independent wave equation. Now the obtained E xi value we should substitute in Schrödinger time independent wave equation. So we will get del square xi plus 2m by h bar square of I h bar into dou xi by dou t minus v xi is equals to 0. So I am taking this whole part to the left hand. So I will get del square xi is equals to minus 2m by h bar square into I h bar dou xi by dou t minus v xi. So final formula we will get is minus h bar square by 2m del square xi plus v xi is equals to I h bar dou xi by dou t. And in a simple way we can write, this is known as our final Schrödinger time dependent wave equation. In a simple way we can write in this way, where h cap is equals to h cap xi is equals to e cap xi. In h cap we are substituting minus h bar square by 2m del square plus v. In this place we are substituting the h cap, where h cap is the Hamilton operator, and e cap I h bar into dou by dou t, where it is the energy operator. And when I came to our next topic, eigenvalues and eigenfunctions. The Schrödinger equation may have many solutions. Out of this solution, some are imaginary and which have no significance. The solutions have significance only for certain values called the eigenvalues of total energy. It means the solution which have significance for certain values, those are called eigenvalues. It means what we can say about eigenvalues: the solutions which have significance for certain values, that values are called eigenvalues of total energy. In an atom, these eigenvalues correspond to the total energy values associated with different orbitals of the atom. Thus we can conclude that Bohr's postulate, according to which the various energy levels exist in an atom, is direct consequence of the wave mechanical concept. the solution of the wave equation for these different values of E gives the corresponding values of the wave function xi known as xi functions. And finally, what we can conclude about xi Eigen function, the solution of the wave equation for these definite values of E gives the corresponding values of the wave function xi known as Eigen functions. Only those Eigen functions have physical significance which satisfy the certain conditions. Here for satisfying Eigen functions, they are given some conditions. They must be single valued function, and they should be finite. They should be continuous throughout the entire space under consideration. In other words, we can say that they should be continuous for all possible values of coordinates x, y, z, including infinity also. And this is the top matter that I want to say about Eigen values and Eigen functions. And when I came to our last but not least topic in quantum mechanics is particle in one dimensional box, and we can also explain in particle in three dimensional. At present I want to explain to you particle in one dimensional box. Particle in one dimensional box. Now I am considering a particle which is moving along x direction only. It means it is bouncing back and forth between the walls of the box. The box has the potential barriers. It means the ends as x is equals to L and x is equals to 0. The box is supposed to have walls infinite length. It means the box has the ends x is equal to L and x is equal to 0, where the heights of the box are indeterminate. It means infinite height they are. So the potential energy V of the particle is infinite on both sides of the box. The potential energy V of the particle can be assumed to be 0 between x is equal to 0, and it means in the box the potential energy is 0. As here it is the picture of the box. It means the box is like this, where in one term x is equal to 0 and x is equals to L, where their heights are infinity, and we have some conditions depend upon this, where V is equal to 0 for 0 less than capital X less than L, and V is equals to infinity for x less than or equal to 0, and V is equals to infinity for x greater than or equal to L. The particle cannot exit out of the box, so its wave function is 0. By this, the Schrödinger wave equation becomes d square psi by dx square plus 8 pi square m by h square E xi is equals to 0. Now I am substituting k square value in the place of 8 pi square me by h square. So the equation becomes d square psi by dx square plus k square xi is equals to 0. Now we know the general equation xi is equals to a sin kx plus b cos plus b. Now I am substituting the boundary conditions as mu is equals to 0 and at x is equals to 0. So we will get the b is equal to 0 in the above equation, and mu is equal to 0 at x is equals to L. So we will get 0 is equals to a sin kl, where it means a sin kl is equal to 0. A should not be equal to 0. So kl is equals sin of kl is equal to 0 where the sign will be 0 at the integral multiples of pi. So kl is equals to n pi. By this we can obtain the k value. K is equal to n pi by L. So I can write the formula xi n of x is equal to a sin n pi x by L. We know that energy of the particle En is equals to k square h square by 8 pi square m, that is equals to, in place of k square I am substituting n pi by L. We will get n square pi square h square by L square 8 pi square m. En is equals to the final formula that I would get is, as in the above equation, pi square will cancel. En is equals to n square h square by 8 by ml square. As Bond's interpretation, I have said that we can write integral xi star into xi dx is equals to 1. Why I am considering here dx only mean the particle is moving only in the x direction. So I am considering only dx. How I get limits mean we have the limits x is equals to 0 to x is equals to L. So I know that xi square into xi is equals to sine square n pi x by L is equals to 1. So how I can write the sine square? 1 minus cos 2. It means how I can write the sine square theta? 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2. So in place of theta we have n pi x by L. Substitute that. 1 minus cos 2 n pi x by L by 2. When I integrate it, the cos theta will cancel. So 1 by 2 integrate means L will come. So L by 2. A square L by 2 is equals to 1. So I got the L value. So I want to substitute this in the xi n value. Previously we have obtained xi n is equals to a sine pi x by L. In this we have to substitute that a value. So if I substitute it, xi n is equal to root 2 by L xi n pi x by L. So it is the particle in one-dimensional box. Hope you understand this quantum mechanics lesson, and thank you for listening my presentation. Thank you so much.